Dlow Curry over the weekend. Realistically, I'm not gonna lie to you at first, and this is one of the reasons why, especially I don't make videos or I don't sit here and try to talk about projects soon as they come out. Because of course, I mean, Top text me like, what you think about the Bossman Dlow joint? Off the first listen, because I didn't make it. I think at that time when he asked me that, I was probably 5 songs in. The very first 5 songs, if I'm keeping it a buck, outside of the Dlow Curry joint. So let's just say 2 through 5. Was mid. It was trash. That fucking Ice Spice hanging. Listen to him say, and I only reason why I'm gonna be very careful when I talk about Ice Spice because I don't because she might be going through the Trasman Bossman shit. I don't want to be fucking Jess hilarious, so I'm cool.
On her.
Yeah, but no, listen. The verse was trash. I don't even shout out to French Montana. I don't know how French Montana continuously strong arms his way onto people projects or getting into all the younger dudes, because that is a skill level too. Like what French Montana be doing, like people randomly, you don't be thinking about French Montana. I'm like, bro, it's almost 2025. How the hell did French Montana get on this Bossman Dlow project? Especially because Bossman Dlow from Florida. Like, if this was a New York rapper, it makes sense. But though he could have did without both of them songs. Or even if he did the Mo Chicken song, you didn't need French Montana. Like, maybe you should have reached out to somebody from the South, like Gucci or Jeezy or anybody from the South. Like, French Montana was like, bro, who the hell need a French Montana verse in 2024? The Ice Spice shit was trash. Like, it didn't even sound like she recorded that shit in a real studio. So you see, like I said, the very first, like I said, the first song was cool. I like that. It came out a week earlier. So like I said, so 2, 3, 4, and 5. I told you I didn't like the biggest part 2. I didn't like that song originally. So it didn't pick up to, it got to 46. I mean, number 6, and that was 46th Street. That song crank. I like Star Life. That joint was cool. Cash Out. Cash-ish. I love that joint. Game didn't. So let's just go for that little window with 6, 7, and 8. All 3 of them songs was fire. Then it got to when it got to number 9, Game Winner. So number 9, 10, and 11 was doo-doo. After that, them 3 songs, 9, 10, and 11 was doo-doo. When it got back to number 12, PJ's featuring Lil Baby, then that's when that album kicked up. If he would have changed, he should have literally, them like those, what's that? How many of these songs he could have put all the way at the very end? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Those 7 songs could have been the last 7 songs on that project, because them shits was trash. I'm not even gonna hold you. It picked up. Now when he got to that PJ song, number 12 with Lil Baby, from PJs to Out the Mud, number 13, 14, What You Need with No Cap. Oh my God, that song crank like hell. That joint, and then the Pushing Up. Oh my God, Pushing Up crank like hell. Dlow Flintstone, that joint crank. The Dlow Gucci crank. Box Night joint featuring Babyface Ray. That joint crank. For the Days, and of course the Twerk That Ass remix with Glorilla. All of them Jones crank. So listen, out of the total project, I probably give him like a B+. Or if he was doing it on a number scale, I would probably give it like, because the songs that crank really crank for real. So I would give him like an 8 out of 10. Like if I'm putting it on a scale like a 1 through 10, I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. But the bad songs are very bad. Like that Ice Spice song is horrible, dog. Like there is no way in hell that song should have been that high up on his jump. Like, it's no way. And maybe that was a label thing. Maybe they signed to the same label. I ain't looked to really see. I'm 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna almost go out on a limb and say they gotta be on the same label, because that to me don't make no sense. Like realistically, even for that Shake That song to be as big as it is, why would you even put it so far at the end? Like, especially as hot as Glorilla, that should have been the second song on the album if we keeping it a buck, especially for how hot that song was and how hot Glorilla is. There's no way in hell you should have had that song all the way at number 20. That don't make no sense to me. So that would just be my only biggest critique, is just that way the album was kind of structured. It was just like the mid songs was way too high. Like them songs, it was bad. They was like real bad. The songs it was fire. And I get it. He did a video for the joint with him and No Cap, and I do think one thing I can give Bossman Dlow a lot of credit for, the good songs really made me feel like mixtape songs or mixtape projects gave me that feel of like old Gucci, old OJ, when I'm just outside, I'm young, busting moves, whatever case may be. And you know those certain mixtapes or songs you used to listen to and you really used to trap crazy to. Like them songs would be your songs that you really want to get money to, or them songs after you done got a lot of money, you about to go to the club and spend this money. Like Bossman Dlow give you that type of feeling. Like them, his punchlines, and that's one thing I love about his music. Bossman Dlow ain't on no song talking about shooting or killing a bunch of people or none of that. He real life only talking about money. His punchlines is all sports punchlines. Realistically, all his punchlines damn near be basketball jokes. Like he might throw a football joke in every now and then, but realistically, most of his jokes is basketball punchlines. But it just gives you that getting money feel. Like it just like when you listen, and it's refreshing, because we do live in a time where everything is switches and Glocks and this, that, and the third. So it's very refreshing to hear somebody else it's still street talk, but it's just getting money. I'm getting money and road running, this and that third. So it's like I like that from Bossman Dlow. Shout out to Bossman Dlow. That was a solid, like I said, a solid project. I give it an 8 out of 10. And my only other critique from Bossman of the week, because it could have kind of went left for him. He did a horrible Breakfast Club interview, and it was because and the reason why I say that Breakfast Club interview was horrible because when he was talking about like him being locked up, it was almost felt like he was damn near lying because it was like, when niggas give you jail stories, and maybe because I'm thinking about, I can't even sit here and just put it on Boosie, but bro, like when niggas be locked up and they've been locked up for some decent time, like people have good jail stories. Like think about A$AP Rocky, even though the junk was a super gay pause worthy story that A$AP Rocky had slipping on the semen, it still was a fire jail story. It was still a jail story that everybody remembered. So it was just like he was just kind of like stuttering Stanley when he was giving his like. I'm like, bro, you should have had this shit. Are you going on the Breakfast Club? Like you should have kind of already had all this played out on what you was going to talk about. So it didn't seem like it just seemed like his whole it seemed bad though. I ain't gonna lie to you. That was like to go on the Breakfast Club. Y'all know I'm a critiquer of people when artists go to the Breakfast Club. Like you either going to that interview gonna help you or it's gonna kind of like and that Bossman Dlow John like that shit was only 30 minutes. I felt like I cut it off like 25 minutes in. Like I'm going.
Remember, are you surprised? I mean, because even looking at that ESPN clip, it wasn't like he was like he's not too.
Yeah, then you shouldn't do him at all then.
But I feel like you still got to do him. You got to do him to get your name out there.
Listen, I get it.
Yeah, and like I said, last week you got on people saying they don't be in the streets or they don't do the stuff that they used to do. You're doing that, but everybody's not made for it.
Then that's when you need to practice, dog. You listen to me. If you know that you was going on the Breakfast Club or the same way, like you said, when you going to the ESPN job, like you can't be dry going on to these things. Like you kind of already got to know that you're going there, so you got to prepare.
But that's why I just say some people just have. Yes, I got the look, I got the I can trust the way, but I don't have that charisma. A lot of people are like that.
Then dog, and you shouldn't do interviews because that shit can hurt you more than it can help you.
I feel like that's a thing that just like nowadays, this is like. You can have the look, you can have the hit song, but do you really have that?
No, that's what I'm saying. And let's be clear. Sometimes you get comfortable with it because at first, early Migos, if you go watch early Migos Breakfast Club, it was damn near just as bad as the Chief Keef joint. But then the Migos got better with time, where the Migos interviews were like, okay, I'm looking forward to seeing the Migos interview now. But their very first joint, that's why I say I wasn't gonna be too judgmental on it. My only other critique for him, bro, when you go, if you should never go to Funkmaster Flex. Ever, unless you just really prepared to go to Funkmaster Flex, because, and I get it. I think I commented and somebody was like, well, he was doing the 50 Cent flow. That flow ain't for everybody. Bossman Dlow ain't a good enough rapper to sit here and try to do window shopper. Like he shouldn't have did it. If he was going to go on Funkmaster Flex, pick a down south beat, nigga, and pick an old Gucci Man beat and rap over that. That's your swag. That's your bag. You should never go on there and try to rap over a New York style beat. Like, bro, I was like, hey, come on, dog. If I wasn't already a fan of his, that would have turned me off. Because the same way when you see just a random nigga go Funkmaster Flex and you kind of like, ugh, like that lyric, I'm listening to him like, yeah, I hear what you're saying, but it's the pocket you're trying to be in. And I think one of the things, I mean, of course, we can't help it. We talk about it all the time on social media because sometimes the critiques get out. Even on his Breakfast Club interview, Charlamagne asked him about like, how do you deal with the fans saying you need to switch up your style or whatever the case may be. And that's what he tried to do on the Funkmaster Flex joint. But don't do it on it. Like, it's just certain platforms. Like, I'm not trying nothing new on these legendary, iconic platforms. You should not get on Funkmaster Flex and try to prove some point to nobody. You get on Funkmaster Flex, you're supposed to go in there and smoke that. You go to LA Leakers, you're supposed to smoke that and leave it. You want to try something new, do that shit on the radar. Like, that's a newer platform. Niggas kind of hit or miss on there every time. Like, look, when Drake went on the radar shit, that shit was silly. Do something like that. You can do that on the radar. But if you go on LA Leakers, Funkmaster Flex, or you go on Sway, nigga, you need to knock that shit out the park. You go on the Breakfast Club, you need to knock that out the park. You can't do no new stuff on those platforms. So again, like I said, but shout out to Bossman Dlow. Like I said, the project was solid. 8 out of 10.